Hey y'all, this is Shon Gerber. Thank you so much for listening today. But before we get started, I have a question for you. Would you like to finally pass the CISSP and get started building a lucrative and rewarding career in cybersecurity? I can help you over at CISSP Cybertraining.com with the resources and tools you need to pass the CISSP the first time. At CISSP Cybertraining.com, there's a vast array of resources available that will give you the guidance, direction, and training you need to pass the CISSP exam. As soon as you get done with this presentation, head on over to CISSP Cybertraining.com so that I can begin helping you today to meet your CISSP goals and grow your career in cybersecurity. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Reduce Cyber Risk and CISSP Training Podcast, where we provide you the training and tools you need to pass the CISSP exam the first time. Hi, my name is Shon Gerber, and I'm your host for this action-packed, informative podcast. Join me each week as I provide the information you need to pass the CISSP exam and grow your cybersecurity knowledge. All right, let's get started. Giddy up. Let's go. Hey y'all, this is Shon Gerber with CISSP Cybertraining.com and ReduceCyberRisk.com, or I should say Reduce Cyber Risk. Hey all, this is Shon Gerber with CISSP Cyber Training and the Reduce Cyber Risk podcast. Hope everybody is doing wonderful today. It's been a beautiful, gorgeous day here in Wichita, Kansas, which is in the heart of the United States. So it's awesome. Can't complain at all. And because you know what? It doesn't do any good if you do. So one quick thing we're going to talk about. This is episode 003, number 3, right, of our CISSP Cyber Training. And this is going to be talking about Reduce Cyber Risk and my CISSP Cybertraining.com, where you can go to get CISSP's cyber information and training that you need to pass it the first time, right? Well, to kind of walk through a little bit around what did we talk about last episode. So I really talked about 6 steps for success. One is you need to decide what goals you want to accomplish. So as it relates to what you're trying to do when you're going to look for your new career in cybersecurity, you want to decide what are your overall goals. Now, you may have goals around becoming a bazillionaire. You may have goals around having more time with your family. You need to decide what are your ultimate goals in cybersecurity and how should you handle them. You also need to really decide how much time you're willing to spend to dedicate towards those goals. Now, that means is that in the case of myself, so I studied in the evenings, basically from around about 9:30 to 10 o'clock every night until about 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. I did that for about 4 months. So that's the time I had. Now, I'll tell you that when I record many of my podcasts that you see here on Reduce Cyber Risk and CISSP Cyber Training, I record those at probably around 4:30 in the morning. Now, the reason is because guess what? That's the only time I have. My wife has got a business. I help her. I work as a chief information security officer. I don't have a lot of time. So I dedicate the time that I have and I do with what I have. That's basically it. So you have to decide for you, what do you have? How much time are you willing to dedicate to meet your dreams and to get what you want as it relates to security? Now, you also need to decide on a course of study. Are you a beginner? Are you experienced? Are you advanced? And what would that be? Now, if you're just getting started off, then obviously the beginner path is one you need to look at. And there's some different training options for you as it relates to the beginner path, and as well as the experienced and advanced, right? So each of those tiers have a level of training for you to kind of understand. Now, you also need to decide on the training option. Like we mentioned before, you have your self-paced, you have your paid specialized training, and then you have your universities or 2-year schools. So you need to decide which option is best for you. Then you need to develop a plan, which I have at CISSP Cyber Training. There's actually a plan for you that you can use, you can download and help you guide you through past your CISSP. And then you need to work your plan. I mean, that's bottom line. And that's anything that we deal with is if you really truly want to be successful in security, you can have it. I guarantee you. I did it. You can definitely do it. However, you're going to have to give up something and you're going to have to work pretty hard. But if you work hard at it, you will reap the rewards as time goes on. Now, there's 2 bonus steps, again, for long-term success. You need to become part of a local chapter, like I talked about last time, an ISC Squared, ISACA, one of them. That's really important. And then you need to find a mentor, someone to help you, either that's free or paid. You need to find somebody to give you some guidance and direction. Again, if it's free, probably a friend. If it's paid, you may have to pay some money for that. But you need to also check and make sure that whoever you use as a mentor, they are the person that has in life what you want, and therefore you can do what they've done. So that's just one piece of advice on that. Now, so why did I start Reduce Cyber Risk and the CISSP Cyber Training websites? So like I mentioned before, people ask me all the time, how do I get into cybersecurity? And like I mentioned last episode, there really is no training path. You have the different options you have for your students, but at the end of the day, there just really isn't anything that is defined as well as becoming an airline pilot. That's pretty defined. There really isn't anything for the cyberspace. So that's why I came up with the Reduce Cyber Risk and the CISSP Cyber Training programs. And originally I started off with the Reduce Cyber Risk podcast and reducecyberrisk.com to help businesses basically deal with CISSP. That's kind of where I went. I see a huge gap there, and that's where I started. But at the end of the day, I really realized that a majority of the problem out there is the training of new people coming up. And as I was looking at an evaluation of a company called Dragos, and they deal with industrial control security, their founder, young guy, now he's a multi-gazillionaire, made a comment. He said he just wants to protect the world from the evil hacker horde. He wants to help the world as it is so that it doesn't fall into chaos. And that's the whole point, is that I'm going to feel the same way. I realize that young people, as they're getting started, whatever young is, because I didn't start in this journey until I was in my 30s, that I actually became a hacker. So you think about it. I was in my 30s when I learned this information. And so you can start at any age, but I realized that until we start teaching more people around security, it's not going to get any better. And there was an article that just came out today that from Davos, Switzerland, and it was a relation to the World Economic Forum, where it's basically where all the really rich people that have lots of bank accounts and lots of money are trying to figure out what the globe looks like around as it relates to money. Well, one of the key factors that came out of that conversation that they had was the fact that the cyber criminal organizations on the globe right now constitute $10.5 trillion. So to put that in perspective, if you had the US and China with their economies, if you had a state or a country, whatever you want to call it, that had the same kind of income at 10.5 was their GDP, $10.5 trillion, they would be the third largest GDP on the planet. This is all crime. $10.5 trillion is being taken from people and wealth is being transferred. It's a shame. It's terrible. And so therefore, it's important that we have security professionals to help mitigate this. Well, that's one of the other things they mentioned at Davos was that most companies are concerned substantially about their long-term longevity as a business. And a lot of it comes down, they can't find the right people. So hence, that's why we have CISSP Cyber Training to help you in that journey. And this is one phase of a multi-phase approach that I plan on doing to help people gain the knowledge that they need to be successful. Now, the CISSP Cyber Training program, .com, that's my site. The goal is to provide a location where cybersecurity students can go to get the skills and knowledge and mentorship they need to grow their careers. And I emphasize the mentorship because I've seen a lot of people take tests, and you can take the cert and pass the cert. But if you don't have someone to help you, it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't help you a whole lot. And if you come into me and you interview with me, I'll look at that and I see you passed your CISSP. But if you don't have any other knowledge on your resume, or you can't articulate it during the technical screen, you're not going to get the job. So just because you pass the test does not mean you're going to get the job that you want. That's why I've got CISSP Cyber Training built. That's why, is to help you get through that initial issue. Now, there's 3 key tenets to meet that mission. One is to provide training products and services for students who want to pass the CISSP now or in the future. Because there's an issue with the CISSP, not really an issue, but it's a requirement that you have to have 5 years experience before you can even be called a CISSP. You can take it before then, but you can't actually be a certified CISSP until you actually meet those requirements around 5 years. Also, to provide a location where students can collaborate and share knowledge and pass the industry exams while expanding their networks. You see Facebook groups, you see all these different groups out there. That's great. But at the end of the day, I wanted one spot where people could go and collaborate. But it's not just about passing the test. Like I mentioned before, is there something that you learned that you could pass on to other students? I was talking to my intern just today, and I made a comment to him around security, and it's so much more than a security operations center or being a pen tester. Now, the industry you'll see a lot of drama or a lot of exposure around being in a security operations center or being in a pen tester that's trying to break into facilities. And I've done those. And those are great, but there's so much more than just those two aspects. But unless you can collaborate with people, you don't know that. You may not know that there are these other job opportunities out there beyond what you see on TV. And that's one of the reasons why we started up CISSP Cyber Training. Now, also just to provide mentorship and career advice for students. My goal is to have some way to teach you and train you what you need to be successful, and looking from a resume standpoint, looking from job interviews, interview questions, how can you better prepare? How could you get into a job with me as the person that's interviewing you? Again, I've interviewed a lot of people. I've been doing this a long time. I can help you get the job that you want by giving you experience and talking to you in ways that you can help articulate what you know to the hiring manager who's hiring you. So what do you get with the CISSP cybertraining.com? What you're going to get is, I break it down right now into 3 different products. And these 3 different products are around self-paced training that you can do on your own. Now, there's a one-time fee that will go into that. And the purpose of it is to provide you the CISSP video series that I have on domains 1 through 8. The training will provide you all the necessary tools you need to pass the CISSP, along with study materials that you need to help you get there. Okay, it'll help you prepare it as it relates to the ISC Squared study guide. It will use years of experience that I have in security as I pass that on, both through the training and through other trainings that I add as time goes on, because I'll be adding other content to it as time goes on. You're also going to be able to get the ability for, as the updates come with that CISSP, I'll make update changes to it. So there's a lot of opportunities that you'll get just through getting my domains 1 through 8. Now, you can get this CISSP type training in multiple places. And like I said, you can even get it free if you go to YouTube, no question. And I don't doubt you. I don't hold that back from you at all if you decide to do that. But I'll just tell you that from my experience, what I can give you. And I feel confident that you'll get exactly what you need from the content in there to help you pass the CISSP the first time. I really, truly do. You're also going to get curated lists of information that I've dug out on the web that I feel is important. And as part of that, you'll be in my email list that I'll be able to send you content that updates both when you see in the news and how it may relate to the CISSP exam. Also, you may get from my email list as well, you'll be getting any sort of content that I may send around interview questions and how to get jobs. So again, just being part of that ecosystem at CISSP Cyber Training is going to be a valuable tool for you. And I'm all there to help you with that. And again, it's a one-time fee. You'll be able to get what you need to pass the CISSP the first time. So my second product is a tailored training of the CISSP video series. And that's, again, domains 1 through 8. And it's a monthly membership. Now, it's designed to provide you all the videos, audio, and additional CISSP content that I provide for the CISSP so that you can pass it the first time. Now, this is all the extra stuff that I'm going to provide. And this would be from my podcast. It would be from, I have CISSP supplemental products. I have all kinds of different things that will be added in there over the years. And as I get more content, it too will go in there. So you're going to get all the benefits of the self-paced training program, but you will get that additional content from supplementals, exam questions, and really so much more. You'll get access to all my podcasts, both from the CISSP Cyber Training and the Reduce Cyber Risk podcast, curated and based on the respective domains. So domain 1, 2, and so forth, that's where you'll get that content. You'll also get the ability to ask questions and have them answered each week. So through the membership, you can ask me direct questions, and I'll come back and give you answers to them. Now, some of those questions may be exam questions. Some of them might be career questions. But you can then chime in the portal and in the membership site, and it'll also be a way for you to help other people as well. And my third product is a personal coaching and mentorship. The purpose of this is to provide a tailored and personalized coaching program supplying you all the tools to pass the CISSP exam while providing you the necessary capabilities to acquire your first or next cybersecurity role. The purpose of this is just to kind of help you, right? That's what you need. You need someone to help you, guide you, and direct you during this process. I'll look at your resume. I will look at interview questions. I can help you get ready so that you meet your needs for your next role. I can tell you what they're going to be looking for from a question standpoint. I can really help you during this process. Also, in addition to that, I'll deal with your CISSP endorsement. I can take care of that because part of the CISSP, I have to know who you are. I have to look at your resume, and I have to pretty much interview you. So knowing that, I feel confident I can do a CISSP endorsement and help you get on to that next path. Again, it's a really good product, and honestly, sitting down with me, I charge about $500 an hour just to sit down and evaluate products. So for 1 hour, I charge close to $500 an hour just to visit with companies on what kind of products they have and if those products are cybersecurity evaluated or not. So it'll be a really good opportunity for you if you decided and if you had the funds to be able to do that, depending upon what your plan is for your career. Now, the benefits that I'm going to provide, again, from my CISSP Cyber Training is you're going to get all the audio formats that are there from the podcast. You're going to get exam questions. You're going to get my personal exam questions as well as recommended locations on getting additional questions. You're going to get curated resource content where you can find everything you need. It'll be in that location in the CISSP Cyber Training, but there'll also be places where you can find it online as well. I'm going to help walk you through this process so that you pass and that you feel confident that you'll pass when you go sit for the test. There's nothing worse than actually sitting for a test and not really feeling confident that you're going to pass it. You're going to have access to me, again, a cybersecurity leader with over 21 years of experience. I've been in red teams, I've been a security architect, a CISO, I'm a professor, and I've done a little bit of everything. And I definitely can help you with that. Now, there's a lot of questions that I get. Can you do this journey alone? Are you free? Are there free options available? How do I get started in cybersecurity? What are employers looking? Those are what I see a lot. I can help you with this. Okay, I really, truly can. Now, got to throw out the disclaimer. Again, like everything else, there's no guarantee that you'll pass. You have to be able to do the work yourself. All the content that I have on my site will fall within the CISSP. Everything that includes that 1,000-page study manual will be there. Plus, you're going to get my knowledge to help you with that. But bottom line is you have to invest. You have to invest money. You have to invest time. You have to do that if you truly want to pass the CISSP. But you know what? You can do it. I fully believe that you can do this, no problem. You just have to dedicate what you need to get it done. All right, so that's all I have for today. Our next episode, we're going to kind of talk about understanding the CISSP certification and preparing for your future. And that's kind of the plan for this next episode. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the flip side. See ya. Thanks so much for joining me today on my podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, as I would greatly appreciate your feedback. Also, check out my videos that are on YouTube. Just head to my channel, CISSP Cyber Training, and you will find a plethora of content to help you pass the CISSP exam the first time. Lastly, head to CISSPCybertraining.com and look for the free stuff that is only available to our email subscribers. Thanks again for listening. See you.